Hey everyone, so I thought I would do a video dedicated to my makeup workhorses. These are the products I use almost without fail every single day. These are the products that kind of get skipped over in a tutorial, barely mentioned. I use them all the time when I'm doing my Instagram live, I don't know what you call them, when I'm doing Instagram Live, and I'm constantly being asked, wait, what was that you were using? And so I just thought, let's just put it all in a video and give these guys their due. Shine a spotlight on them, if you will. It's almost like a current favorites, except a lot of these aren't current. They're just what gets used over and over and over and over. They're not particularly glamorous, they're not shiny and sparkly, but they get the job done and they're what I reach for. Some of these are a little seasonal, but most of them are not. So without further ado, let us jump in. Oh, and by the way, there is a little sale going on. If you are not sick of me talking about it yet, go into the description box and check out all the links about the Nordstrom sale if you're interested. That's all you're gonna hear about that. All right, so let's start in the order in which I put on my makeup. And if you wanna see these things in action from time to time, make sure that you are following me on Instagram because I do a lot of get ready with me. While I'm putting on my makeup, I just pop on Instagram Live and we chit chat, we have a good time, we laugh, we get a little raunchy, a little saucy, and we have a lot of fun. So I usually start off by popping on some lip balm, and the Milani lip balm is the one I use, and you'd think by now I'd know what it's called. It's the Milani Keep It Smooth lip treatment. It's nothing particularly special. It's a great budget-friendly price point. It smells like sugar, cotton candy. It's lovely. It's in a pot. I just keep some Q-tips nearby, and I just dip it in so I don't have to stick my finger in. Smear it all over my lips, and by the time I'm ready to put lipstick on, or by the time I'm done putting on my makeup, my lips are nice and soft and lovely. Now it's time for the foundation or base, and this is a little seasonal, but the few that I rotate through all the time are in no particular order. The Shiseido Synchro Skin Glow. This is more for if I want a little more coverage, a little more glammed up. This is the one that I reach for. I'm currently in the shade N2. Oh, it's a little light right now. Today I am wearing the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau BB Cream. It is a lovely, beautiful, soft satin finish, not dewy, satin, and it does have an SPF 30. Again, I am in the shade light, number 2 light. And it is a smidge too light right now with the fake tan that I've got going on. The next one I'm gonna tell you about is also a cream, not a foundation. It is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, and this one is in the shade Light, which is actually my summer shade. It's embarrassing. The difference between the two, the Guerlain has an SPF of 30, the IT Cosmetics has an SPF of 50. The IT Cosmetics is more of a dewy finish, I would say, and the Guerlain is a little more satin. So there's a bit of a difference in price point as well. But I'd say if you have oily skin, the Guerlain might be a little more friendly to you. And then the one that I probably wear the most, which makes me smile because it's definitely the most budget friendly, and I have this in 3 shades depending on where I am in the faux tanning spectrum, is the Maybelline Dream Cushion Foundation. If you have not tried this, just do it. Save your receipt. Most drugstores will take it back if you don't like it. In the winter, I'm a 10. Spring, fall, I'm a 15. And when I faux tan, I'm a 20. That's my shade range. And I love this thing. Now, to put on my foundation, 9 times out of 10, I use this guy. I have 2 of them. It's by IT Cosmetics, and it's the Heavenly Luxe Flat Top Buffing Foundation Brush. There it is. I just dunk it in. If it's the Maybelline one, I just dunk it right into the cushion and smack it on. If it's one of the cream or pump ones, I just pump it onto the back of my hand, dab it, and smack it on. It does a great job. Moving on to concealer, this should not be too much of a surprise. It's a 1-2 punch for the under eyes. First, to correct the blueness under my eyes, I do the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter pen in the shade Radiant Rose. Little stripe under each eye every time. Works like a charm. And then I pat it in with this guy. I get a lot of questions about this. This is the Sigma Concealer Blend Kabuki brush. And before I go any further, all of this will be listed in the description box with the links in the order in which I am describing this to you. So if I've already lost you, don't worry, it's all down there. So this little guy is very handy. It's designed to conceal. It comes to a nice little point. I like to call this like my big thumb brush, and it fits right in that corner in there, and I pat this all in. I also use this in a little bit, so don't forget about this guy. So I use this to pat in the prep and prime, and then I come back to conceal or brighten in this case. And I have not found any dupes for this yet. I'm still looking, but it's the Tarte Shape Tape, and when I don't have a fake tan, I'm just in the fair shade. When I'm a little, I don't even want to say tan, I mean, who are we kidding? But when I'm a little darker, it's fair neutral. So that's what I use. And then for facial blemishes, just to conceal, the one I reach for is the Clé de Peau Concealer. I have it in 2 shades, the lightest and then the next to lightest. And it's a stick concealer. It's quite nice. I'm really into these stick concealers, and I just dot that into where I need it. And then I blend that in back with our friend, my big hairy thumb. Just pat that in wherever there are areas that need to be concealed. And I should say that I blend in the Tarte Shape Tape with this guy. You can use a beauty blender or whatever, but this one happens to be designed by a subscriber of mine, and I will put the name and information in the description box down below. It's just a little bit better than the beauty blender. I don't know why, I can't put my finger on it, but I really do like it just that much more. And then to set the under eye area, this is fairly new to the collection. I've got this in May, but I have been using it nonstop, and there's a reason why it has cult-like status. This is from Laura Mercier. I got this as part of a set. It's a tiny little pot, and I will eventually, I guess, have to buy a bigger one, but I can't see that day coming anytime soon. A little goes a long way. This is the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. Teeny, teeny, tiny little pot, a little bit just under here. And the brush I use to set that is from Real Techniques. It's the Real Techniques setting brush. So I just tap off a little bit into the cap here, swirl the brush around in the cap, and just pat that in and swirl a little bit, pat and swirl. No matter what makeup I'm doing, this routine I don't deviate. This is an everyday thing. And then most days in the summer, or if there's something special going on, I do deviate a little bit, but most days, this is the setting powder I've been using. It's the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Natural in the shade Medium. And I use this brush, again by IT Cosmetics, not sponsored, and it is the Heavenly Luxe Wand Ball Powder. Just tap everywhere except under the eyes. It's a little heavy under the eyes, but it doesn't get heavy or cakey on my face. I don't know why. It must be magic. I've changed bronzers, and recently, it's been months, let's say fairly recently, it's been the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and it's just the original shade. It's not the light shade. It's not light or deep. It's just no color after it, just Butter Bronzer. It's this guy, and without fail, the brush I use has no name, but it is part of the Coastal Scents Pearl brush set. There's 16 brushes in this set, and I think it's definitely under $40, but it might be under $20. And I just dip it in and bronze. Smells so good. Smells like summer, which it is right now, so that's handy. Now the highlight I use changes all the time. I have a huge highlighter collection. I did a video that's kind of outdated called My Ridiculous Highlighter Collection, which is really silly because my highlighter collection has gotten so much more ridiculous since that video. But what hasn't changed in a very long time is the brush I use to put it on, which is this guy. It's from Wayne Goss, and it's his brush number 2 or O2. It's so soft, and it just puts your highlight on and blends it as it goes. It's such a lovely brush. It's the only one of his collection I own. It's really the only one I need. It's just perfect. It also can double as a setting brush, under eye setting brush, if I can't find my Real Techniques one. So love this brush. Moving on to blush. That changes all the time. I have a ridiculously huge blush collection as well, but the blush brush hasn't changed in years. And this is actually not a blush brush. It is a Real Techniques brush, but I don't like their blush brush to put on blush. It's like this big, and that covers the entire side of my face. What I do use is part of a set. You can't buy it individually, but it's their multitask brush. I don't find it's useful for multitasks. I find it's only useful for one. Popping on the blush right on the apple of my cheek and swirl. That's it. So to prime my eyes, I have been really loyal to this guy. It's kind of funny that I can talk about a $70 concealer, yes, $70, and this isn't actually the cheapest thing I'm going to show you, but a $2.99, I think it's $2.99 eyeshadow primer. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer, and I've tried the Milani one. I like this one better. It just dries on me smoother, and it does have a little bit of opacity because I have translucent eyelids. So I love this the best. And then the next thing I do after I prime my lids is I do my eyebrows. I don't know why I do it in this order, but I don't deviate. I get into my thing, I just get in my lane. I'm sure we all do this, right? We have our way, and that's how we do it. So the next thing I always do is eyebrows. And I have done videos on dupes, and there are dupes, but this is what I reach for every single day, and this is what I repurchase every single time, and it's this guy to draw on my eyebrows. It's the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Taupe. I love it. Does it snap in half sometimes from the spoolie? Yes, it does. Do I care? No, I do not. I keep buying it. I just bought another one. But to set my brows, I always use this thing. It's the NYX Brow Mascara in the shade Light. It's the best. If you have slightly darker eyebrows and your hair is blonde, for a variety of reasons that may be the case. In my case, it's because my hair is not naturally blonde, and you want to lighten up your eyebrows a little bit without actually dyeing them, this will actually make your eyebrows a shade lighter than they really are. This stuff is magic, and it holds them in place, and they're not crunchy. So win-win for everybody. Now on to the least expensive thing I have here to show you. I always, if it's not included already in the palette I'm using, blend out my brow bone with this thing. I have like 7 of them as backups. I'm not even kidding, because I had heard they were discontinuing this, so I bought 7 of them, which is fine because they were 99 cents. This is the Wet n Wild Single Eyeshadow in the shade Brulee. This is the best bone ivory colored matte or satin eyeshadow on the market. That's it. This one. There you go. 99 cents. You cannot beat that. Now, onto some more eyeshadow eye stuff. Eyeliners. There are 3 that I rotate through. There is no particular reason why. It's just whichever one happens to be within the hand when I grab for it. The first one is the second one I have. It is from, this is the second one I've had. This is from the brand Makeup Forever. They're Aqua XL. The only thing I don't like about Makeup Forever is they don't use names. Everything has a number. So it's the Makeup Forever Aqua XL eye pencil in the shade M for matte 60. It's a dark matte brown. I'm not a fan of black eyeliner. It's just a thing. Talk about that in a different video. But I do love dark brown or charcoal or dark navy. Dark brown's my preference. So M60 if you're into Makeup Forever. Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Eye Pencil, I believe is the full name of this guy. Yep. And my favorite shade from their line is Burgundy Suede. It's getting shorter and shorter. I love this one as well. And a very budget friendly and just as competitive as with these guys is harder to find, but you can find it on Amazon or you can order it online from Walgreens, is from CoverGirl, but their Queen line. CoverGirl Queen, it's marketed for African Americans. I feel like it should be marketed to all of us. It's just a good line, period. And the shade that I really like is Truffle. It's creamy, it's opaque, it goes on without skipping, it stays put. It's a beautiful color, great line. One more eye product that I use a lot, like if I'm just having a hard time with the eyeshadow and it's just not coming together, what I've been popping on the last couple of months, and I've used it to fix quite a few looks that just weren't coming together, is this guy, so I should mention it. It's the Chanel Illusion d'Ombre. It's basically cream eyeshadow. It's like magic in a little jar, and in particular the shade number 90, which I will now butcher, Convoitise. There you go. I'm wearing it today in the middle of my lid. It just kind of makes everything come together and blend. There's another shade, Emervale. I need to repurchase mine. It's pretty much dried up. It's a more pinky shade. Those two can kind of fix any eyeshadow look that needs a little oomph. So this is what I curl my eyelashes with every day. This is a limited edition because it's gold, but this is the Shu Amura lash curler, just their classic one, and normally it comes in silver. And the mascara that I just keep coming back to, I believe this was in Best of 2016, and I keep trying to find a dupe and nothing comes close. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't. I know it thickens up in the bottle sooner than others, but I don't care because it makes my lashes look like none other. It's the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. It really is a superhero product. I can't live without it. I love it. And then finally, one last thing I need to mention because I get asked a lot, what do you use to sharpen your eyeliners, your lip pencils, if you ever use anything like that? And it's this guy. It looks like it's been through a war. I've had it for years. It's by Urban Decay. It's their Grindhouse sharpener. It has 2 holes, a big one and a little one, 10 bucks. Sharpens like nothing else on the market. Lovely little tool. So there you have it. These are my superhero, workhorse, everyday products I cannot live without. If my house burned down, if someone stole all my makeup, these would be the products I repurchased without thinking about it, without blinking an eye. I can't not have them. There's your double negative. And I highly suggest you read the whole description box. That's a big hint for you. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you stuck around to the end to get that big hint. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.